In early 2023, after crypto dropped 74%, Tika Twari went on record saying we're entering, quote, the best crypto buying opportunity we'll see in our lifetime. Since then, Bitcoin is up 166%, and smaller coins have exploded, 820%, 1,593%, even 7,600%. But this isn't the first time Twari went public with a bold crypto call. Back in 2016, when the Washington Post said, RIP Bitcoin, it's time to move on, Twari recommended a small list of crypto coins. $1,000 into each would have turned into a $2.4 million crypto portfolio. This helped several of his followers become millionaires. Flash forward to December 2018, when Bloomberg said, Bitcoin, the biggest bubble in history, is popping. Once again, Tika went public with a call. Anyone who followed his advice this time around would have been able to turn $1,000 in each of his picks into a $1.4 million crypto portfolio. For his efforts, he was voted the #1 most trusted man in crypto by 130,000 independent analysts. Now, tonight, Tika is making what could turn out to be his biggest crypto call yet, and it's all centered on a rare event set to kick off on April 16th. Please, mark down this date, because every single time this event has happened in the past, hundreds of tiny crypto coins explode in just days, helping anyone capture 10 times, 50 times, even 100 times return on their money. And now, Twari believes, thanks to a convergence of powerful forces, this next crypto event will be 10x bigger than the last. Can you afford to miss out? In a moment, you'll get all the details, including Tika's #1 crypto pick for 2024, completely free. A crypto which has returned over 2,800% on average every single time this crypto event has occurred, turning every $1,000 into $28,000 and $10,000 into $280,000. Let's get all the details. Tika Twari, sure is great to have you here.
It's wonderful to be here, John.
Well, listen, you're here calling for a final chance to make a retirement nest egg with crypto, all thanks to a strange event that you believe will create a massive buying frenzy on April 16th. So I'm going to be honest with you. I've heard plenty of analysts make big predictions before, but few, if any, are willing to call on a specific date. This is new. So what's happening in April? How can you be so sure?
Well, first thing is, I don't blame you for being skeptical. It's good to be skeptical, but let me be very, very clear with you. This is not a prediction. It's set in stone. This is a guaranteed event, and I will tell you that when it hits, we could see a final wave of money. I'm talking about an ocean, hundreds of billions of dollars large, perhaps even as large as trillions of dollars, flood into crypto in days. But here's the key. You have to be prepared, because the biggest gains are all going to come from one corner of the crypto sector. And look, many people might write this off as marketing hype, John, and I get it. But this event is so big. Billionaires are saying it will kick off the biggest development on Wall Street in the last 30 years. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to share all the key details, and everyone watching can make their own decision for themselves as to whether this makes sense for them.
Well, listen, I'm glad you said that, because I got to be honest with you, I'm slightly skeptical. So I'm glad you brought all the proof and the documentation with you today.
Well, that's exactly why I'm here, because time is running out. We are on the clock, counting down to the precise moment when I believe a small stake could trigger a 10x, 50x, even 100x return on your investment. But I'll tell you this, if you procrastinate, if you put this off and say, I'll deal with it later, it's going to be too late.
All right, well, I think I'm starting to see what's at stake here. Earlier, you touched on a repeating crypto pattern. It's an event, something that's happened a few times before, and it's set to happen again. But my question is this, why is the timing so important right now?
Because this rare crypto event, it happens in a single day. It doesn't happen over multiple days, and if you wait, the opportunity is gone. Which is why the last time this crypto event happened, I pounded the table for my readers to get in immediately. And the results, well, they were unbelievable. $1,000 into each of my crypto recommendations turned into a crypto portfolio worth $2.4 million at the peak. John, 2.4 million on a handful of $1,000 investments. The average return was 6,244%. And remember, at the time, there was enormous skepticism about the whole crypto space, reminiscent of what we're seeing right now. People told me to my face, "You're crazy, you're insane, you're irresponsible." And yet our winners were able to outperform the stock market by a factor of 624 to 1.
Okay, look, I have had the privilege of meeting many impressive minds in my decades of journalism. We're talking world-class thinking, but I've never seen profits like that. So kudos. But I'm going to play devil's advocate here. What about people who believe that this was just dumb luck? You know, it was a one-time thing.
Well, the next time this rare crypto event triggered, once again, I told my readers, get in right now. Don't waste time. Don't procrastinate. Do it now. Just $1,000 into my recommendations the second time around could have unleashed another $1 million payday. $1.4 million to be exact. We saw gains as high as 2,205%, 6,108%, and even 151,000%.
Wait. 1,500 times your investment? I mean, let's be clear. Not even the world's best investors see those kind of gains in their entire lifetime.
That's my point. Here's what I'm most proud of, John. I help my readers not only make those profits, but keep those profits. My inbox was flooded with messages from folks who turned tiny grub stakes into $330,000, $1.2 million. I even got a note from a farmer who was on the verge of bankruptcy who made, get this, $2.2 million. Just think of the freedom that buys you.
Yeah, I love hearing those stories because it's not like these people won the lottery. I mean, that's where one person walks away with an entire jackpot, everyone else gets zip. In your case, you took thousands of people along for the ride, and now it seems like you want to do this again. You're attempting to do it again, claiming these kinds of returns are set to repeat on April 16th, 2024.
That's exactly what I'm doing. And you see, this timing is everything. This is when a rare phenomenon will trigger, sending the entire crypto market, forget overdrive, it's hyperdrive. This crypto event has only happened 3 times in history, but this time it will be much, much bigger than any other time that came before it. Now, I want to explain why. It's very important that we pay very close attention to this. 2 things are about to happen. And if just one of them were to occur, the opportunity here would be off the charts. But it's even bigger than that. You see, as we speak, $27 trillion in new money is set to flood into the crypto markets. At the very same time, the new supply of select crypto coins will shrink dramatically. I want you to think about that. Unprecedented demand paired with rapidly shrinking supply. You don't have to be a financial genius to predict what will happen next. Tiny crypto coins, some of them trading for pennies, some even sub 1 penny, are set to soar to record highs. And if you own the right ones, I will tell you here and now, you can take a small stake and put yourself in a position to make 10 times your money, 50 times your money, even 100 times your money, as I have done again and again and again for years. John, the time to get ready is now. Companies like Yahoo Finance declared the crypto event will spark an investor frenzy.
Ooh, those are powerful words. Spark an investor frenzy. And speaking of powerful words, Tika, before we went on air today, you and I were chatting, and you said something that really stunned me, and I want to go back to this. You said that there's one coin in particular that has soared over 2,800% on average every single time this crypto event is triggered. Do I have that right?
That's correct, John. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you the name of the coin for free because I believe it could create another round of huge returns. Now, bear in mind, John, I've got a pretty good track record when it comes to giving my audience free investment picks. The average return of my previous picks is 1,042%. That's 10 times your money on my free picks. But as crazy as it sounds, those returns, they don't hold the candle to what happens during these crypto events, where I've shown readers how to collect gains as high as 61 times your money, 156 times your money, and even 1,500 times your money. And now we have a timer set for April 16th, counting down to the exact second the entire crypto sector explodes, giving anyone the shot to turn $1,000 into a new life of financial freedom.
Okay, I am paying attention to you. I'm not just texting. I'm actually going to set an alarm for this date so I don't miss out. And for anyone watching at home, I suggest they do the same thing.
Well, let me remind you, this is time sensitive, so you don't want to wait until April to act, because in the run up to this event, a handful of small crypto coins are already exploding tremendously as we speak.
767%, 1,355%, 7,617%. Okay, so every day we wait, we're missing out big, right? So let's get into the details.
John, it's simple. After my readers had a shot to collect $2.4 million, then $1.4 million, the next opportunity in April is set to be an order of magnitude larger. I've created a private list of crypto coins that I believe will mint the next round of crypto millionaires.
Okay, I hear you. But can you be a bit more specific? What really is going on? And what are these rare crypto events?
Well, on April 16th, we will experience what I call crypto's final shock.
A crypto shock. Keep
going. What I'm talking about is a highly predictable event most people outside of the crypto world don't even know exist. You see, there's a timer counting down to the exact second the new supply of select crypto gets cut in half. This will send the entire crypto sector on a rampage, what I call a crypto shock. And to give you a better idea of how powerful these crypto shocks are, I want you to take a look at this. There's only been 3 crypto shocks in history. Each time, the gains have been unprecedented. I've personally given my readers the opportunity to capture gains as high as 6,108%, 14,926%, 49,277%, and more. That's how you can turn a handful of $1,000 investments into $1 million nest egg.
So what you're saying is one crypto event, just one, to create $1 million retirement? I mean, you're a smart guy. You understand how this sounds, right?
It sounds outlandish. It sounds crazy. But you know what's even crazier? I've done it twice, John, and now I plan to do it for a 3rd time. Although, let me be clear here. Crypto's final shock in April could be far bigger than anything before. Because this time, it's not just about a supply shortage of crypto coins. For the first time ever, we're going to witness a $27 trillion force flood into crypto at one time. In fact, Forbes estimates this April event will be even bigger, saying crypto is braced for a $30 trillion earthquake. And John, the best part is, and the big reason I'm sharing this, is you don't have to be a millionaire or have millions of dollars invested in order to make 7 figures. Anyone can use this event to turn a handful of $1,000 investments into a completely new financial life.
Okay. So you're saying a supply shortage is rapidly unfolding in the sector. At the same time, a $27 trillion market force is pummeling into crypto for the first time ever. And this is going to create record-breaking crypto gains. But let's just narrow this in for just a second. Can you explain what is going on with this crypto supply shortage?
Absolutely. So it's simple. When an asset has a supply shortage, then you can collect massive gains. So for example, in the 1979 gold panic, there was a 54% supply shortage. In the 2011 rare earth crisis, there was a 19% supply shortage. In 1973, the supply of oil was cut by 25%. Now, anybody who was aware of these supply shortages and got ahead of them before they took place saw gains like 1,728%, 3,478%, even 13,025%. But today's situation is vastly different, John, because there are 2 forces creating a perfect storm in crypto. One, a $27 trillion surge in demand, paired with a massive crypto supply shortage. Let me be very clear here. There is no one who can step in and boost the supply of crypto from here. Do you understand what I'm saying, John?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, let me do a better job making this clearer for you. Let's say the price of oil leapt to $300 a barrel. It trades at around 75 bucks today. So if oil prices spiked, do you think producers around the globe would find more ways to pump more oil or less oil?
Well, they would pump more oil since they make more money, and then they'd probably go to the ends of the earth to find a new oil supply.
Exactly. But what if the supply of oil was capped? What if there were no new oil fields and we knew for certain we could never, ever tap into more oil supply again, ever again? Oil would go on an unprecedented rally that the world had never seen before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is what's happening in crypto. And this is why I'm here today urging everyone to take action right now, because this is written in stone. A guaranteed event that will create a buying frenzy that no one alive has ever seen before. But John, let me be very, very clear with everyone watching. Time is of the essence. The market is already moving rapidly. The crypto gains are already starting to pile up.
All right, making sense. I got it now. Just to clarify, you're calling for crypto's final shock, but I'm wondering, can you bring us back to where this all first started? I mean, earlier said that this rare crypto event has happened 3 times before. Could you explain?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go back to the first event. Crypto's first shock took place in 2012. As I said before, there is a timer attached to each of these crypto shock events. And if you know what they are, you can make an enormous amount of money because they tick down to the exact second the entire sector explodes higher, where crazy things become possible. Let me give you an example. This is a chart of Bitcoin during crypto's first shock. When the countdown timer hit 0, Bitcoin exploded. Anyone could have collected an 8,400% return. John, that's 84 times your money. 84 times your money in under 1 year. That turns $1,000 into over $80,000. Every 10,000 becomes 800,000. An entirely new financial life is yours from just one investment.
And you know what that's like? 8,400%. I mean, that's like fast forwarding 840 years of typical market gains down to just 12 months, which honestly feels just crazy and weird to even say it out loud, doesn't it?
It's the exact reason why I'm pouring millions of my own dollars into the market ahead of this next crypto shock. But here's what I want you to understand, John. These events are not just about Bitcoin, because the biggest gains, well, they're made in the lesser known crypto coins. They're called altcoins. So for example, Litecoin spiked 14,690% following this event. It went from 30 cents to over $44. Think about that. Every $1,000 becomes $146,900. A $10,000 investment becomes 1.4 million.
It's crazy to think about collecting a $1.4 million payday from one single crypto event.
Gets even more shocking when you compare it to stocks, John. The S&P 500 only moved 28% during that same exact time frame. Think about it. Think about where you are financially in life. What's going to get you where you want to go? 28% or 14,690%?
Come on. It's an easy choice. I'm going to take the latter. Here's what's crazy, though. 28% it's a historic year for stocks. Most investors would be ecstatic, and yet it doesn't even shed a light to these crypto gains.
Exactly. 28% is great if you're already a multimillionaire. If you've got $10 million in the stock market and you make 28%, well, good for you. But who has that kind of money in the stock market?
Right.
That's my point. That's the beauty of crypto. It's the great equalizer. Because when these crypto shocks events happen, they pump hundreds of billions of dollars into the market virtually overnight. And if you're a smaller investor, if you're positioned correctly, that money flood, if you get in front of it in the right way with the right investments, it's life-changing. Let me talk to you about 2016, where I helped change the lives of thousands of everyday Americans. At the time, mainstream news was murmuring, forget murmuring, they were screaming from the rooftops that crypto was dead. At that period of time, we saw Bitcoin that was pronounced dead over 474 times. So just imagine this, right? Millions of everyday people who've lost out on the enormous returns in crypto, all because the news scared them into ignoring this incredible asset class.
Full disclosure, I'm in that bucket.
Look, you're not alone. Millions of people missed out. I missed out on the 2012 run because I believed that hype too. Now, while the news was saying crypto was dead, naturally, that's when I made my biggest crypto call, which was in 2016, because I knew that this second shock was coming. I had missed the first one, and I was not going to miss the second one. The clock was ticking, counting down to the exact moment the entire crypto sector would explode higher. So here's what I did. I got in front of all my readers. I got in front of all these cameras, and I pounded the table for everyone to buy Bitcoin at $428 and everyone to buy Ethereum at $9.
And by the way, you were just one of the few in the entire world who made a call like this, right?
At the time, I believe I was the only person in my entire industry that was willing to stake their reputation and put out professionally done research on these coins. Now, again, was I ridiculed for that professionally by people outside of the space? Absolutely. I didn't care. You know why? Because for the people that listened to me, their lives were changed. Bitcoin exploded for a peak return of 17,233%. Ethereum, it went up as much as 49,277%.
Okay, wait a second. Let's just do some math here. Your investment would have topped out around $1.3 million, am I right?
That is correct. Where else are you going to make $1.3 million on a tiny investment? Stocks won't do it unless you're already rich. But listen, John, believe it or not, this story gets even better, because after recommending what turned out to be a seven-figure payday on Bitcoin and Ethereum, I went on to recommend a group of smaller crypto investments, these altcoins that I talked about earlier. Now, to be clear, I want to be very, very clear. Every example I'm sharing with you is 100% a real and 100% documented recommendation that I made to my readers. $1,000 into each of those documented recommendations turned into a peak gain of $2.4 million. Think about that, John. An entirely new way of life from a handful of investments becomes $2.4 million. We outperform the stock market by 624 to 1.
God, you know, this is one of my favorite stories of yours. I've never seen anything like it. $2.4 million. I mean, that's enough to move wherever you want to go in the world. Buy a new home, hand down the money to your grandkids, and still live off the passive income.
Right, 2.4 million at 5%, what is that, 120,000 a year? You just
Yeah.
buy bonds? It's life-altering. Imagine getting $10,000 a month every single month on top of whatever work that you're doing from a handful of $1,000 investments. That's what's at stake here on April 16th. Okay, I'm gonna try and put this in perspective for everybody watching. I've had a 15-year career as a vice president of a major Wall Street investment bank. I've recommended NVIDIA for a 5,700% return. I reported on Amazon way back in 2008 before it spiked 3,500%. I even recommended Apple while I was on Wall Street back in 2003 before it jumped 19,346%. Now, look, it's obvious most people would kill for those types of returns. But here's the thing. Getting those returns in the stock market, which were all legendary returns, and I'm incredibly proud of that research that I did, but it took years for those gains to crystallize, years. But in crypto, we're closing gains that are an order of magnitude larger, and we're doing it 10 times, 20 times, sometimes 40 times faster than the stock market. So it's like turbocharging your retirement without putting your retirement at risk. The simple fact is, crypto shocks are true millionaire maker events. Period. End of discussion. Take a look at what some of my readers have written in to tell me. Evan L. says, I turned $300 into $200,000. Dave and Christie said they went from $10,000, it went to $330,000. We're going on a family holiday. And finally, take a look at this short clip from one of my readers.
The amount of money that we invested in cryptocurrencies was $12,000. I took it and invested it just exactly like Tika said. In just 18 months, Tika made that blossom into $1.2 million. We were floored.
$1.2 million. That would put my retirement at warp speed as well. That's just incredible. How can you see through all the distractions? I'm interested because the news calls crypto dead. Uncertainty, it's just all over the market, but you don't do that. You just charge forward, helping your readers collect massive gains regardless of what's just happening all around.
John, here's a newsflash for you. I never listen to the news. We're not their customer. Their customer is advertisers. All these guys are doing is hunting for clicks to appease their advertisers. Instead, here's what I do. I simply look at the calendar. I see when the next crypto shock event is, and I put millions of my dollars ahead of it. So let's talk about the last time I did that. We're going to fast forward to 2020. This was the last time we saw one of these shocks. But this time, it was very different. The sentiment was horrible in the market. Bitcoin was down huge. The stock market was down a whopping 37%. The largest Dow crash since the Great Depression was in front of us. Blood was in the water. Folks had no idea where to turn. But this was when I had an interview with Glenn Beck. At the time, Bitcoin was trading at around $6,000 or $7,000 a Bitcoin. I declared that Bitcoin was going to go to $40,000 per coin. How could I be so sure? Because I knew crypto's third shock was right around the corner. Now, the same chorus was sung again. Tika, you're nuts. Tika, you're irresponsible. Tika, are you sure that you want to make this prediction? But sure enough, the timer had started again. And when the countdown hit 0, once again, right on time, the entire crypto sector exploded. Bitcoin went from $6,000 a Bitcoin to over $68,000 per Bitcoin. Anyone who listened to me could have captured over an 880% return. But John, remember how I said earlier, the biggest gains during these events, they come from the lesser known, the altcoins. Remember that term I used, altcoins? So just like the last time where folks could have collected a $2.4 million payday, I created another list of these smaller altcoins to buy, these smaller crypto coins. Sure enough, just $1,000 into each of them transformed into a $1.4 million portfolio at the peak. We saw gains as high as 5,038%, 6,284%, and even a mind-bending 90,115%.
That is mind-bending. And you know what's shocking to me, Tika? I think most people would agree it's possible to achieve a 7-figure retirement. You can do it, people do it. But by typical standards, it takes, as you said, decades collecting small 10% annual returns. And by 65 years old, hey, you can finally retire. Instead, you're showing folks how to collect gains as high as 90,000% in almost no time flat. You're proving that you could quite literally retire from just one of these crypto events. It's remarkable.
John, that's been true for every one of these crypto events that I've been a part of, and it's the reason why I'm pounding the table for folks to prepare today.
So on this $1.4 million crypto windfall, how did your readers make out?
Well, I had a soybean farmer write to us. At the time, he was worried about going bankrupt, but here's what he said. He said, I invested about $25,000 and my portfolio's like $2.2 million.
Think about that. That's from bankruptcy to $2.2 million.
It's a new financial life. And that's not all. David L., another reader, he secured a windfall saying, my crypto value went up to 7 digits. I was able to sell 10%, become debt-free, pay off my house, give my wife the deed to her house on her birthday. So it was a very sweet thing.
Man, that is a beautiful thing to do. I'm sure he's a hero to his wife now, right?
I'm sure he is. And it's all thanks to these rare crypto events. You see, these coins are so cheap and the moves are so massive, you don't need to risk a lot to make a lot. You can take tiny stakes and walk away with huge paydays. Let me give you an example. Right before crypto's third shock in 2020, on March 18th of 2020, I told my readers to buy a coin that was priced at just 1 single penny. Sure enough, John, during crypto's third shock, $2 trillion flooded into the crypto sector. It was an absolute frenzy.
So how'd you do?
Well, the crypto rocketed to 21 cents from just 1 single penny. That's a 2,100% return. That turns $1,000 into $21,000, 10,000 into 210,000. Imagine how many of these coins you could have bought at just a single penny. But that's not all, John, because the same exact day I recommended that coin, I told my readers to buy another coin trading at just 5 pennies. My team estimated the crypto coin was about to have a massive surge in new users. And what happened next was unprecedented. The coin shot up as high as 9,226%. John, that's 92 times your money. That takes $1,000, makes it 92,000. It takes 10,000 and turns it into 922,000.
Nearly $1 million profit from a 5-cent crypto coin? I mean, never in my life have I seen something like that. Honestly, Tika, I love that you're finding investments that literally anyone can afford to get in on. I know that's part of the attraction to this, but you're also targeting investments with real utility. These aren't just pie-in-the-sky moonshots.
Right, precisely. These are real crypto projects with real value that our research tells us are going to be moving the ball forward in a demonstrable way that creates all this value creation in the actual project. So I'm following this same blueprint once again to help folks create a new financial life for themselves in 2024 without putting their current financial life at risk. And that's what's beautiful about these small coins. You don't have to risk a lot in order to make a lot. But here's the thing, the gains are already starting to stack up, John, and time is running out. In fact, this April event is so important, I believe it will push cryptocurrency into the final stage of mainstream acceptance. So what does that mean? It means that we will see prices move to a level and at a speed that we have never moved before. So how are we going to prepare for that? Well, in a moment, I'll be revealing the one crypto that has returned over 2,800% on average from every single crypto shock. I'll also reveal how just minutes of prep time today could potentially result in a 7-figure nest egg in 2024.
Okay, sounds good, Tika, but for now, can you explain exactly what's going to happen in April?
Sure, let me explain it like this. John, imagine if there was a fixed supply of shares in companies like Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, or NVIDIA, meaning they couldn't issue unlimited new shares like how they can today. You see, most people don't realize this, but a company like Amazon, they have issued 141 million new shares in the last year alone, and there's nothing to stop them from printing more. So when there's massive demand for a stock like Amazon, they can simply issue new shares to take advantage of the demand. But what if the supply of Amazon stock was fixed? What if there was a ceiling and they could not print new Amazon shares? What do you think would happen to their stock price?
My gosh, with that announcement alone, I'd bet Amazon's stock price would just go through the roof. It would create huge pent-up demand with a small amount of supply left. Am I right?
That's it. And this is not some kind of mathematical hocus pocus. When demand greatly exceeds supply, the price of an asset explodes into the stratosphere. It's basic math. And this is what is happening right now with Bitcoin. You see, on April 16th, Bitcoin's new supply will be cut in half. In half, John. This crypto event is universally called the Bitcoin halving. I call it a crypto shock. But whatever name you put on it, it is a once in a lifetime opportunity to create financial freedom for yourself. Because each and every time the new supply of Bitcoin has been cut in half, it triggers a gigantic bull run for the entire crypto sector. We saw it in 2012, we saw it in 2016, we saw it in 2020, and now April will ignite a brand new buying frenzy that, in my opinion, is set to overshadow any of the previous shocks that came before it. Why? Because trillions of new dollars could be pumped into the entire crypto sector as investors seek to get their share before the new supply is cut. You see, Bitcoin and small crypto coins, I believe, could all erupt in a span of just hours. It will be like a tsunami flooding into a small bay, insatiable demand with less supply than ever. This is why getting prepared today, and most importantly, taking action today, is so critical. But the key, John, is you gotta know where all this new money will flow into before anyone else.
Wow. Okay, so in April, when the clock hits zero, Bitcoin's new supply gets cut in half, and crypto coins could hit record highs. Hey, I think I got this, Tika. I think I know what I'm doing.
Exactly. Trillions and trillions of dollars could flood into the crypto sector in a span of days, weeks, and hours. We're already seeing record money flow as we speak, but this is only the beginning. You see, not many people know this, John, but 93% of Bitcoin's entire supply is already accounted for. Did you know that?
No, wait a minute. There's a $21 million coin supply of Bitcoin available, and you're saying only 7% of that supply is left?
Right. Almost all the Bitcoin coins are actually gone or accounted for, held by other people.
Didn't know that.
So imagine the frenzy in April. There will be an all-out war to get your share. Think about it like this. If you're mining for gold and you've tapped out the current supply, the economic demand is so high that you're going to figure out any way you can to get more gold. You're going to drill deeper, you're going to innovate in new processes that can pull more ore out of the earth. But for Bitcoin, you can't do that because the limited supply is pre-programmed and it's permanently capped. There's no way to invent a new process to get more. It's not even like having our money backed with gold again. It's better because unlike gold, where you can always mine more gold, you can't mine more Bitcoin beyond its 21 million supply cap.
That is so well said. I'm starting to see why each of these events has pushed crypto to record highs in the past. The new supply is cut, and people, well, they don't want to be left behind, so they all FOMO into the market. I get that. But Tika, today you've been calling for crypto's final shock. And if I'm being honest, sounds like hype, right? I mean, why would this be the final moment in crypto?
Well, I understand why you're saying it sounds like hype, John, but here's what I want you to understand. This April event could spark the last great bull market for the little guy to participate in, right? It's the final shot to buy crypto at the lowest price available, where you can get the most amount of upside with a tiny investment. In the future, you're going to need to already be rich in order to make a seven-figure gain out of crypto. And the reason why is that we are witnessing a shock in the demand for crypto unlike we've ever seen before. And that level of demand, when you go from a small market to a large mainstream market, can only happen for the first time, one time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally does.
So here's what's happening. In short, the world's most powerful, profitable, and money-hungry institutions are all lined up to pile into crypto for the first time at the same time. The same group that publicly disparaged Bitcoin for the last 15 years recently got approval for their Bitcoin ETF funds from the SEC. Take a look. I'm talking about firms like BlackRock, Fidelity, Invesco, mega firms with trillions upon trillions of dollars under control, groups that dominate our entire financial system. The world's most powerful institutions are finally putting a rubber yes stamp on crypto, going all in to provide crypto services to their clients. In total, $27 trillion move. And I estimate these institutions in total control over 281 million individual financial accounts. So I want you to really think about this, John. That's an unprecedented amount of people, all of them who have never had access to crypto, that could suddenly invest in crypto all at the same time. I want you to imagine the trillions of dollars that could come rushing into crypto for the very first time.
Okay, hold on. You're saying crypto will suddenly reach the biggest market in the US, a group who holds the most money for the first time ever,
That's
right?
exactly what I'm saying. Millions and millions of people with their 6- and 7-figure retirement accounts, 401ks, are going to push a certain percentage of that money directly into crypto. And now the race is on as these mega institutions push to get their funds live into every retirement account in the nation. From there, we're going to watch as crypto goes on its biggest buying frenzy in its short history. And it will happen any day now. For comparison, John, look what happened when the first gold ETF was approved back in 2003. As soon as people got access to the gold ETF in their retirement accounts, money rapidly flew in. Gold went on an 8-year epic bull run. Gold added over $8 trillion in total market value over those years.
Yeah, I see that. I see what you're saying.
You know, the point here, John, is the same thing is about to happen with crypto. So I'll ask you, John, do you really want to risk missing out on what may be the easiest to see wealth generating event in the history of our lifetime? Think about it. There are 58,000 public companies, 3,100 billionaires, 59 million millionaires in the world, but only 2 million Bitcoin left to buy in the active supply. And they're going to get acquired at an unprecedented rate. This opportunity can only happen one time for the first time. This is the final moment to act. It's the reason why I've been investing millions upon millions of my own dollars into crypto. And anyone watching right now can be part of this rare event, where a handful of $1,000 investments can buy a whole new financial life if, and it's a big if, you know where to get positioned.
Gosh, this feels like the defining moment before crypto gets massive mainstream approval. I mean, that's what it feels like, right?
We are on the doorstep of mass approval and mass adoption of this asset. Now, look, you don't just have to take my word for it. BlackRock's own CEO, who oversees more than $9 trillion in assets, he says cryptocurrency is going to transcend any one currency. So if he's right, crypto will become one of the biggest markets in the entire world. John, hear me when I tell you this. Wall Street are among the greediest institutions on the planet, and they're going all in on crypto. We are seeing infinite crypto demand with simply a tiny percentage of supply left. What do you think's going to happen?
Gosh, now that you've opened up the door in my mind, I mean, now that I have all the details, I get it. I see why you're here pounding the table once again. This totally makes sense.
Right, and the crypto frenzy, it's not like it hasn't started yet. It's already beginning. Right now on the exchanges where you buy Bitcoin, the available supply is down to a 6-year low. And the supply is going to radically decrease from here. In fact, over 700,000 new Bitcoin accounts were just created in a single day. 50 million total accounts created, a record high. Heck, John, even the US government owns $5 billion worth of Bitcoin right now.
Literally, what you're saying is everyone is loading up.
Everyone is loading up. This could be the most predictable wealth-generating event we may ever see. And you already know the power of these crypto shock events. But as an example, an analyst demonstrated that if you invested $5 during each of the last crypto shock events, and you only kept the investment in during these crypto shock events, that $5 would have turned into $130,000.
What? $5 into $130,000?
It's insane. But John, yeah, this shows you the power of getting involved before these crypto shocks. It shows you the power of this asset class called crypto. Think about it. In 2020, I recommended coins that soared as high as 1,557%, 2,639%, and 9,226%. But if this upcoming April event is anything like the one in 2020, we could witness the entire crypto sector soar 37 times higher from here.
I can't even imagine the profits if this April event will be 37x bigger than the last one.
It will be bananas.
Okay, so let me clarify here. Are you calling for viewers to buy Bitcoin today, and that's it, call it a day?
Actually, in a moment, I'll give you the name of the crypto I do believe everyone should buy. It's returned over 2,800% on average through every crypto shock event. But I'm here to help folks fast forward decades of retirement down to just months. So this is going to call for a different strategy. So in a moment, I'm releasing my list of crypto coins that I believe could create a slew of new crypto millionaires once again as this 2024 crypto shock plays out.
Perfect. But real quick, I want to recap because, we've covered a lot here. In the past, you've given readers the opportunity to have a crypto portfolio worth $2.4 million, then again, $1.4 million from these crypto shock events. You've picked the top performing coins for the last 6 years straight, TK. You recommended 27 investments that are up over 1,000%. And you have arguably given more folks the chance to become crypto millionaires than anyone else in history. Look, I think we can all agree that there was no one else with a published track record like yours. So my question now is this. For those itching to get your newest crypto recommendations to prepare for crypto's final shock, what steps do they need to take?
Well, the first thing you need to understand is that urgency is the name of the game. You must take steps right now, whether that's with me or somebody else or your own work. You must take action now. So what I've done is I've outlined every single step you need to take in, I call a blueprint. It's a step-by-step blueprint on how to capture maximum profits before, during, and after this crypto event. It's all compiled into a special report called Crypto's Final Shock, the Millionaire Maker Portfolio. And after recommending 27 total crypto coins, each one soaring over 1,000%, as you mentioned, everything in this blueprint is geared towards giving you that type of opportunity.
I'm curious, how many coins, crypto coins, are recommended inside this blueprint?
So we have 3 recommendations in total. The first crypto recommendation enables smart contract data for the blockchain. Now, if you don't know what that means, it doesn't matter because I explain it all in the special report. Here's what you need to know about that. I believe it's set to become one of the global enterprise leaders in the blockchain space. That means massive contracts with some of the world's biggest companies and banks. Now, John, 90% of businesses are adopting blockchain and crypto right now. This single coin is set to become one of the foundations of the new global financial system. Now, one analyst, he phrased it perfectly. He said, if data is the new oil, then this coin is the standard oil of the cryptocurrency market. Better yet, the coin is heavily undervalued, but it's not going to stay that way for long. Now, the second coin in this report helps everyday people around the globe instantly transfer their cash anywhere to anyone. This coin already has 4.8 million accounts and has processed more than 1.5 billion operations since it launched. And now it's cementing its position as a world leader. Better yet, John, the coin trades for 13 pennies. And lastly, the third coin in our blueprint, I believe it's set to become the Google of the crypto market. The best part, John, is it trades for 16 pennies, 16 cents. But based on our research, they're not going to stay that cheap for much longer.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when you recommended those 2 crypto coins in 2020. One of those coins went from 1 cent to 21 cents, and the other skyrocketed from 5 cents to $4.85, a 2,100% return and a 9,226 peak return. So I'm sure viewers are ecstatic that you're making crypto recommendations trading for just pennies. That's kind of cool.
Absolutely. And it's inside crypto's final shock, the Millionaire Maker portfolio. Now, John, if it's okay with you, I want to speak directly to our viewers at home that are watching.
Please.
Friends, it doesn't matter what experience you have with crypto. You might be a seasoned pro or a total newbie. Here's what I want you to know. The step-by-step blueprint walks you through the exact steps you need to take with ease. I was not a crypto expert the first day that I walked into crypto. And so what I asked my folks to do was create a series of guides that would take a complete newbie and show them exactly how to get involved. So the reason why I'm mentioning that to you is I want to remove any stress or preconceived notions you have about the difficulty or complexity with crypto. It's actually much easier than you might think. And look, if you're watching this right now, then I want you to know you're one of the first people to get access to this report and this opportunity. The simple fact is I work with one of the largest independent publishers of financial research in the entire world, with nearly 2 million readers across 201 countries. And I'm going to be perfectly candid with you. There's going to be a lot of people trying to get their hands on this blueprint. So if you want to capture the biggest returns, my recommendation is that you act now.
That is perfect. So how do viewers gain access to this blueprint? That's the next question.
Well, I'm going to get into those details in a moment, but before I do, there's another free report that I want everyone watching to be armed with. It's called the #1 crypto stock for the great digital disruption. Friends, this is a stock idea. Now, I believe this single stock is set to soar as much as 265% based on our current research. Now, as the world goes more and more digital, including the entire financial system, this stock is sitting as the very centerpiece of building out the infrastructure for this whole new digital world. This stock has over 1 million partnerships with banks and merchants across 100 different countries. Not only do I believe this could get you nearly triple your investment, but you're also going to get paid a 3.5% dividend just for holding the shares. I believe it will set you up for massive long-term growth while paying out income no matter what happens in the stock market.
Well, look, I know a lot of people are looking for a sound long-term investment right now. And if this stock is building the infrastructure for our new financial world, man, that sounds perfect. So to recap, viewers are going to get access to crypto's final shock, the Millionaire Maker portfolio, and the #1 crypto stock for the great digital disruption. All 100% free, correct?
Yes, it's all free. Here's how it works. Friends, I'd like to give you access to all my reports free of charge. What's the catch? What am I asking for in return? It's very simple. All I ask in return is that you give my monthly research service, the Palm Beach Letter, a try. And you do it at zero risk. The Palm Beach Letter is my flagship monthly research service where I continue to share my best investing ideas every single month. And today, I'm making a special invitation to you. I want you to try it out risk-free for the next 60 days. You get my best monthly recommendations, you get the entry and exit points, how much I expect that you'll make from each idea, and much, much more. Now, why should you give the Palm Beach Letter a try? Well, let me give you some clarity on that. From 2016, when I took over the reins at the Palm Beach Letter, to 2023, my recommendations inside the Palm Beach Letter have returned, on average, 131% per year. That's 13 times more than the stock market every single year. We regularly outperform the nation's best hedge funds by a mile. This means just by placing my monthly recommendations, you could be doubling your money potentially every single year at a minimum. This is why I'm so proud to say we have members writing into me all the time expressing their gratitude.
Tika, I just want to confirm, your monthly recommendations span all kinds of different opportunities, don't they? From income to tech stocks, artificial intelligence, crypto, whatever that you spot as the month's best investment. Am I correct?
That's right, John. And this is a really important point. You see, I'm not bound by the rules that I had to abide to on Wall Street, where I was confined to specific assets, specific sectors, or research that only my firm had an economic interest in. So this is why we're able to outperform all the major hedge funds. You see, my team and I relentlessly scour the market to find the best valued, high upside investments. But here's the key, friends. You don't have to pay Wall Street fees to join me inside the Palm Beach letter. I'm not going to charge you $20,000 a year like a typical Wall Street research firm might charge. You won't even pay a fraction of that. If you go to our retail homepage, you'll see that access to our letter is priced at $199. Now, that's not a month, that's the yearly price. And I believe that price is a steal as is. But here's the thing, you and I don't know each other yet. And so what I want to do is everything in my power to make this an easy decision for you. So here's the deal I'm willing to make for you. If you join in the next few minutes, you can get annual access to the Palm Beach letter for a one-time payment of just $49. That includes everything we spoke about up until this point. Crypto's final shock, the Millionaire Maker portfolio, the #1 crypto stock for the great digital disruption, and 12 months of the Palm Beach letter, one new investment recommendation every single month, each with the opportunity geared towards doubling, tripling, even multiplying your investments 10 times over, and a 100% money-back guarantee. You can keep the reports, everything we spoke about today. If you don't want to continue, just simply contact our friendly customer support team in Florida, and they will return your payment back. No problem, no questions asked. Just click the button near this video to look at all the final details.
Wow, you know, if you think about it, Tika, it breaks down to 13 cents per day. That is a no-brainer deal considering you're giving folks the opportunity to close massive returns like you've done time and time again. I mean, I don't know, it just doesn't get any better.
Well, it might. So let me explain to everybody in home, because I've got 2 more surprises for new members. Friends, I really want to make this as much of a no-brainer for you as I can. So the first surprise I want to give you is something called the Crypto Corner Masterclass, how to go from beginner to crypto expert. Now, look, if you've never purchased crypto before, I can understand if you're a little bit intimidated, but this course that we put together will be perfect for you. It's a 6-part video masterclass. It has step-by-step videos on how to create a crypto account, how to protect your crypto account, how to buy new crypto coins with ease, and much, much more. And I specifically designed it for anyone of any age.
Okay, I'm so happy that you included that, Tika. Now, I know this is going to be a huge relief to crypto beginners today to have all that. So what's the second surprise for your new members?
Well, friends, I'm going to let you in on an industry secret. Today, I've shown you how to collect 10 times, 50 times, even 100 times or more your money by buying crypto coins right before one of these shocks. But there's another big way to profit from crypto, a strategy allowing you to create income on a weekly basis. I've compiled all the details inside a special report called the Crypto Income Blueprint for up or down markets. Now, what's great about this report is it will show you how to pull income consistently from the crypto that you already own. And you don't have to put another penny into the crypto, and it works even if the crypto market is flat. So in the years to come, no matter what happens in the sector, you will have a shot to capture huge crypto income gains.
Perfect. That ties everything together nicely, Tika. So to clarify, new members will not only have a shot to turn a small stake into a potential 7-figure retirement, but you're also going to help show people how to create reliable income from the crypto market. And it's perfect timing, too, as inflation rips through our economy. So in a moment, we need to get to the details of your #1 free crypto pick. Everybody's waiting on that. But before we do, I just want to recap for a second because this has been a lot. Here's what you'll get when you join crypto's final shock, the Millionaire Maker portfolio, the #1 crypto stock for the great digital disruption, Crypto Corner Masterclass, how to go from beginner to crypto expert, the Crypto Income Blueprint, income for up or down markets, 12 months of the Palm Beach letter, one new investment recommendation every single month, each with the opportunity geared towards doubling, tripling, or even multiplying your investment 10 times over. A 100% money back guarantee. Keep the reports and everything we spoke about today. Just contact Tika's friendly customer support team in Florida, and they will return your full payment back, no problem.
Friends, also, please don't forget today's offer includes our library that goes all the way back to 2016. So when you join in the next few minutes, here are some of the reports that you will gain access to. The investment of the decade, the top plays that will power blockchain's revolution, the inflation killer with 2,500% upside, the wealth formula, the #1 way to 9x your portfolio. But this deal will not be online for long because this is a huge discount from our normal retail price of $199. That's why I want you to click the button near this video to get the final details on today's special offer.
Well, Tika, and I mean this sincerely, I really want to thank you for what you brought to the table today. It's literally life-changing. Now, as you mentioned, in April, we will experience the biggest day in cryptocurrency since its inception, crypto's final shock. It's a rare convergence of forces colliding to create the exact moment hundreds of tiny crypto coins, they just explode in the span of just days, helping investors capture 10 times, 50 times, and as you said, even 100 times their investment. In the previous crypto shocks, you gave your readers the opportunity to turn a group of $1,000 investments into portfolios worth $2.4 million, and then again, $1.4 million. And now, you're making your next big crypto call for April. This is so exciting.
I'm incredibly excited to do it, John, because again, our research suggests this could be one for the history books, one of the greatest wealth-generating opportunities we've ever seen, not just in crypto, but in any financial asset.
Well, if it's anything like the last, anything at all, the returns are going to be historic, that is for sure. All right, listen, before we get to your last words and you close out today's interview, I believe you promised to share your #1 free crypto pick for 2024. Go.
Absolutely. You know, friends, when I tell you this, you may think, oh, Tika, that's so obvious. What a waste of time. But hear me when I tell you this, because based on today's prices, my research suggests that we will see a 1,200% gain on this crypto over the short term. That's 12 times your money. Now, throw in the fact that the Federal Reserve has printed over $10 trillion since 2020. Throw in the fact that we now have over $34 trillion in national debt that has caused out of control increases in our cost of living. I think we can agree things are only going to get worse because our government must resort to printing more money to keep our nation functioning. The U.S. is in a debt spiral unlike it has ever seen before. Now, unfortunately, things are about to get much, much worse. So it's critical to prepare because crypto will cement its place as the final position as the world's hardest, most secure, in-demand source of currency, of value. And the best way to prepare for that and how you can capture a 12x return on your money is simple. Buy Bitcoin.
Okay. Bitcoin it is. That's your recommendation.
That is my recommendation. Now, again, friends, sitting at home, you might think that's too simple or it's too obvious. I want you to think about it. Where else in any asset class do you think that you can collect a 1,200% return over the short term? And look, I'm not the only one pounding the table on Bitcoin. Billionaire Mike Novogratz predicts Bitcoin will hit $500,000. Kathy Woods, founder of ARK Investments, believes Bitcoin will hit $1.48 million per coin. And Michael Saylor, the CEO of the $8 billion tech giant MicroStrategy, says, I think Bitcoin will hit $500,000 by the end of 2025. Now keep this in mind. He's already up over $2 billion in profit on his Bitcoin's holdings. If he's right, this will allow you to capture nearly 12 times your money by the end of 2025. That's equal to 120 years of stock market returns. Again, where else are you going to secure 120 years of stock market returns shortened down to just a short handful of months? all you have to do is make one simple decision: buy Bitcoin and leave it alone. This is why, even if it seems like a basic recommendation, you shouldn't let that stop you from buying Bitcoin. As for the long-term potential, I personally believe that Bitcoin's total market cap will overcome gold by the end of this decade. That's a $13 trillion disruption. The simple fact is, Bitcoin is one of the best and easiest ways to get in the game, and it's my #1 recommendation for anyone looking to get involved in crypto today. But again, if you want the biggest and fastest returns as we enter an unprecedented crypto frenzy, I suggest you check out the 3 coins in my newest blueprint. Just click the button near this video and get all the final details.
Done. Thank you, Tika, very much. Folks, you heard it here first. Right now, you have a unique opportunity to get the inside track on the absolute best crypto recommendations ahead of crypto's final shock in April. Tika may be the only one in the world with a track record like this, helping everyday folks become crypto millionaires. Remember, time is ticking. The countdown to April has begun, so click the button near this video to get risk-free access to everything that we've discussed today. Tika, what a pleasure. Any last words?
Friends, today you have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get in on the crypto event defining the next decade. I'm confident that we may never see another opportunity like this in our lifetimes. I believe this could be bigger than all of the previous crypto shocks combined. And you can get all of the reports and financial analysis we mentioned today for the insanely low price of 13 cents per day. Even better, I don't want your money if you're not 100% happy and satisfied. Simply call our friendly US-based support team. You can cancel your subscription and we will happily refund your $49 back, no questions asked. You can even keep all of the reports, all of the issues, everything. Because I know once you begin to capture these crypto gains, you're going to stay with us for the long haul. I cannot wait to see you on the inside of Palm Beach Letter. I want to thank you so much for watching today. And as I always like to say, I want you to always remember, let the game come to you.